Welcome to the Let It Bleed podcast, a place where you can hear the liquor-fueled ramblings of two narcissistic wizards who conjure the essence of inspirational people every week and bring it straight to you.
Just how do you plan on doing that? Magic. Motherfucker.
And now for the wizards themselves, David Amaya and Phil Arroyo. Let's see. What is going on in the world today?
Well, I know that I cook the shit out of this pork chop right now.
Pork chop?
Ooh, shit, it's good. Sure.
Where's it from?
Your mama.
She's made pork chops before, I'm sure.
Yeah, they're great.
You ever been to?
You should try them.
You ever been to George's Greek Cafe?
Yeah.
Oh, never mind. That's lamb chops. I'm thinking lamb chops.
My guy, get your animals right, dude.
Oh,
Maybe you should get you like a speaking spell or some shit.
we're gonna have PETA all over us now
Okay.
for eating
I
this
promise.
tasty meat.
Alright, I promise I'm done.
It's not.
For the most part, for
Woo! That was good. Congratulations. That's the first time I think I've seen you guys cook.
Oh, you know what? I'm okay at it. You know?
You're getting there now. You're
As
doing
you can
it.
tell.
You're doing the cooking thing now. I need to start doing.
Well, no,
that.
I've been on it for a while.
Oh, okay.
But it's just like, sometimes it's just one of those days and you're already high and you're just like, all right, looks like it's, frozen entree from kids' cuisine or some shit like that.
I think that's
the
for
night.
me every day, where it's like, oh, well, I'm really high and I don't have the patience to cook or wait for any food, and so there's like, you know.
It takes almost the same amount of time, which is crazy. You still need like 7 minutes here, then flip it, and then put it in the microwave for another 3. It's like, in that time, you could have made a delicious pork chop with, instant potatoes.
Yeah, if you're home. If you're not home and you're on the go and you're like, there's a burger place right there.
Well,
And I can
yeah.
get that.
I mean, that's another.
That's
yeah.
my life. That's kind of
Versus,
what I go through.
microwaves and shit like that.
But I definitely have been waking up feeling like shit again for that. So it's like back to the same old routine of realizing, okay, now you gotta. And so today I did it good, actually. I took all my food to work, and I just ate healthier, better, so that hopefully my stomach doesn't kill me tomorrow morning.
Well, it's your little science experiment,
Yeah.
You got to test these things out to make sure that they work. And you're like, maybe it wasn't the Burger King every day. Let me just try. Okay, it was the Burger King every day.
Oh no, yeah, totally. No, it was the Burger King, or what was it yesterday? It was Jack in the Box, like earlier in the day, and then In-N-Out for dinner. But I didn't go to In-N-Out. See, it was like somebody already got it for me. So that was like my excuse. It was like, okay, twist my arm a little bit. I wouldn't have gone to In-N-Out.
So if you
I probably
didn't
would have
get
went to
it,
Taco Bell instead.
it's okay to have 2 greasy ass cheeseburgers for lunch and dinner.
Hey man, when you're hungry and you're high all day, every day, that's kind of like what happens. That's another thing too. So you got to get to the root of it. And this is going to be one of those things that a lot of people are going to like angrily. It's not the weed, man. It's you. It's like, yeah, it is.
But
the
kill
weed
you.
definitely makes me
It
want
does
to
not
eat
help.
more. Like anybody who says that it doesn't, I mean, well, that's just your body type. If you're the type that just smokes weed and wants to go, run a mile, sometimes that makes me want to do that. But for the most part, it makes me get creative. And then like, I just get to a point where I'm like, you know what? I wonder what's in the fridge. And then it's like, nothing is good in the fridge. I wonder what the closest place is for me to go get some fucking food.
See, for me, it's like it's a texture thing, So I got to keep like hummus in the fridge or like fruits and other shit like that.
That shit just doesn't do it for me. That's just a teaser, man. That's just like the filler.
Man.
That's like drinking the beer in between the shots,
You just gotta get through it, man. You gotta
Yeah.
push through that, like,
Yeah.
oh man, I don't want this. I want a bunch of sugary, meaty, cheesy bullshit.
Yeah, you gotta.
If you push that and you start
it's-
actually eating that, you're just like, oh, okay, like.
It is
actually,
that
this did
2 week
scratch the
thing.
itch a little bit.
It's like that 2 week thing, that
2
they
week
say.
hump.
Once you do the 2 weeks, then all of a sudden you start to crave those foods. As we talked about last week, we had this conversation. Yeah, I think that definitely also has been in my mind since last week too. Once again, to get back on to
It was your little kick in the pants to kind of get you back on track for stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely in the last couple months have gone through a major shift where I have sorted a lot of things out. So I guess you could say the level of stress has kind of balanced out, because I finally like did a deep clean, like completely just reorganized and took inventory of just about everything that I have, like files, paperwork and stuff, because all of that stuff really just fucking adds up, and it just sits there in the back of your mind. And this single quick thought of it, anytime you have to like think about somebody brings something up and you're like, shit, where is that? What is that? And then all of it just like, boom, just pops up right in there, and your gut is just like, oh no, like I got to deal with that. Push it off till later. I ain't got time for that now.
And every like week, month that you don't do it, it just like compounds into it. You're just like, oh god.
Oh man, you could literally feel like the little just, spasms in your back that you get from just thinking about that. You could just like, So, I finally did that, and now I can kind of come back around to focusing on this other area, which is the, waking up earlier, doing like stretches, if anything. It doesn't have to be this crazy workout every day. It doesn't have to even be like a full-on yoga routine. Just like a simple routine of waking up, like just, not looking at your phone, going outside, drinking a glass of water with lemon preferably, and just stretching and getting your blood flowing for the day, getting your head right. But we don't do that as often as we should.
Even that little bit is so much more than nothing.
Yeah,
that's what's crazy to me. I read this I don't know what to call it. I think it was from a science journal or some shit like that one time. But anyway, somebody was making the case that like people who have that restless leg syndrome, kind of like myself, like they have like a higher metabolism rate, because it's like even that little bit is like, oh no, you're burning like an extra, 100 calories a day or some shit like that.
But it's got to be bad for your like heart and stuff too, I think, to be that anxious, right? Or maybe not your heart, but something. Because...
Maybe I haven't looked that up because I'm terrified of what I might find. Because it's like, oh no, you're gonna explode at 49. I'm like,
oh, so I went to the doctor about a year and a half, maybe 2 years ago now. I don't know, shit. Time flies. But this doctor, as I was telling him about all my stomach issues.
Time flies when you're going numb.
Yeah. I was telling him about all my stomach issues. And of course, the doctors, they just like say, oh, it's gastritis, it's this and that. But like the main thing that they would always say is the stress. And the guy's like sitting there, telling me like how I need to not stress out so much. And he's like, his leg is just like bouncing up and down like fucking Thumper. And I'm just looking at this guy like he's got, when a doctor's just like, you look at them and you're like, this guy's just fucking overworked. This guy's just here probably. I don't know.
That actually is pretty ironic for a doctor to be giving out that advice, which is correct advice. But it's like, right. Yo, you haven't slept in 2 days.
Yeah. Well, at least that guy even had the sense for Kaiser to do that, though. Like to say that it had something to do other than just like, here, take these and then you're good. Like, just what they were saying, oh, it's gastritis, they just tell you what it is, but they're not telling you like what's causing it or what you can do to help yourself not have that, other than just like, take these antacids and you're fucking, and which only just make it worse. They in the long run, they don't really do anything positive for you.
It's just a symptom.
Just like every other thing that they give you.
Yeah, it's tough because especially in this country, man, like it's just so it doesn't make sense for anybody to go to the doctor. Shit, some people with insurance, it's like you really want to wait until that last thing because nobody can. You're gonna lose your fucking car, your house, or some shit like that when you go to the doctor and they find something really bad. And people have been taking a lot more control of their own health and like being more proactive and trying to manage things and not get to that point because it's like, oh, we kind of don't really have much of a healthcare system in this country. So people that tend to go in, they tend to find stuff that's like. It's like only when they absolutely have to. So it's just emergency after emergency after emergency. And when we don't put any like effort or, resources towards prevention and, just promoting good habits and healthy causes and stuff like that, that's really what's putting such a strain on the system right now.
Yeah.
I mean, among a whole bunch of other things,
It really is strange too that the older we get, that kind of, unless you're a hypochondriac, we kind of are way more reluctant to go get checked up for many more reasons than just the fact that we like don't want to know that something's wrong with us, for the hassle as well as the cost, the money, like whether we have insurance or not, those co-pays and shit, they fucking just fuck you up, and we're just like deterred from going and actually checking on what's going on. When I was younger, one of my friends, I was in my early 20s or whatever, but she's a little older, and she just would like always be feeling like shit. She would always tell me she was feeling sick and whatnot. And she just wouldn't go to the doctor. I was like, why don't you go to the doctor? Go to the doctor. And she was just like, no. She didn't ultimately. She just didn't want to go. I think because she was afraid that something would be wrong, And sure enough, she went to the doctor and she found out she had lupus. And it's like, whoa, I wonder like how much, how long you were going without this. So then that kind of made me like a hypochondriac. Like, what if I, I got to go to the doctor. So for a little bit, I was going to the doctor, getting checked up, everything's fine. And then now I'm like, I don't want to go to the doctor. But at the time I was like, how could you not want to go get checked? Go, like, get your ass over there, go do it.
Well, basically, if you're under 26 and, you've got parents with insurance, you can write off of that. But after that, it doesn't. Yeah, it's
well, I still
hard,
have
man.
insurance right now through my work, and I still don't want to go because I usually do go, and it is that thing, or they don't. I guess I should just really be focused on trying to like learn more to take care of myself, because whenever I talk to just get free advice from people, holistic type shit too, the more just wellness, like taking care of yourself, just doing things for yourself, as we already spoke about.
I think that's why we've seen kind of a boom about it. You know?
Yeah.
Because Western medicine, we can't trust it. We can't rely on it anymore.
No.
I mean, to an obvious
right.
degree.
If you need like surgery or something, like something that's critical, if something's critical and it needs to be done right away, then sure, yeah, absolutely. But like,
I heard this fucked up statistic the other day. It was that a third of GoFundMe's are for medical bills.
Really?
1/3 of everything on the site is medical bills.
Wow.
That's fucking crazy to me.
Well, at least it's not selfish shit, though.
They're like our second highest. No, that's fucked up.
I mean, it is
our second highest like
up.
Insurer in this country is GoFundMe.
Right. Well, that is fucked up. That when you put it that way, but like I've also seen some really fucked up shit where people are like asking for fucking money just so that they can get some really stupid shit.
Oh,
so on the other end of that, I'm like, okay, well at least they're doing it for something good. But you're right. That is really fucked up that we can't get.
I mean, I'm really sick of reading all these things that are like, when a teacher's like sick leave ran out and they were about to lose their job, it's like a feel-good story. Like all the other teachers like donated their sick leave to him so he could continue like battling cancer. It's like, yo,
you can do that?
The system failed you. If like you all have to come together and like this is like a newsworthy story that somebody who got sick was able to like receive care. Like that's fucking crazy to me.
That's
like
kind of strange. I feel like there's a lawsuit there for sure, though. Wouldn't there be? I feel like that would be something that somebody could easily go and like take them like to court and say, a leave of absence or something, right?
I mean, I don't think with unions and teachers and stuff like that. Like
really, that sucks.
Like there's probably something in there that means you can't just get infinite sick leave.
Okay. Because I've definitely had teachers. It's probably also district to district or different.
Yeah, I'm sure it's
which that ultimately that really does suck. But I have had teachers as well that were, like I had one teacher. It just seemed like he was like literally never there, like never ever there, and I just wondered how that worked out. But I don't know. Yeah, the system needs to be fucking. I don't even know.
I mean, so much of that, but like that's what I'm noticing right now, or what it feels like to me is that we're kind of reaching a critical mass with like how bad healthcare is in this country, and with everybody kind of finding out like how like other, whoa, excuse me, got a rogue pork chop.
Rogue pork chop. Yeah.
How other countries they don't have these problems, that we've been sold. Like, people are like, oh wait, you don't have to, like, you don't lose your house if you like get sick or you break your arm and shit like that. And everybody else makes it work. And I mean, they're doing these, it's cheaper if we have universal healthcare for all of us. It costs like $3 trillion less according to a gigantic pro-insurance lobby, like everything wrong with it. The people who like made the system this way in the first place. They did a study and they went, oh shit. Everything that we could find, like the worst example we could find was that it would cost $3 trillion less. I'm like,
yeah, but you know what, Phil? It's still cutting into our very important fund for the wall. So
exactly. I mean, that's the kind of thing is that people are that whole thing is losing steam. I mean, I saw that he went to a rally.
What's the progress on that anyway? Like, have they even started building that thing, or like, what have they done?
No,
with that?
they haven't gotten anything for it yet.
But he's doing what he said he was going to do.
Literally, he's the only one that wants that, and it would cost. I mean, it would cost like for that wall, we could probably like make universal healthcare for like 5 years.
You mean he's the only politician that wants that? Because I still hear people. Sadly, like try to say that
dude, look at his most recent rally from like 2 days ago that he went. Oh no, it was yesterday. He went to a rally yesterday, and it was like laughably populated. It was like 15% of the stadium was like had people in it.
With what?
15% of the stadium had people in it.
Wow.
Like it wasn't even close to sold out. There was like 15% occupancy.
Where was it?
Like West Virginia, I think.
Huh. So like you think people have just like given up finally on it?
I think so. I think people. I mean, you can't say that like definitively.
I don't know, man. I've
definitely
seen more of a rise of it. Like the other day, I saw 2 kids just walking down at the Garden Walk with, like "Make America Great" hats again on their heads, and they were just like definitely looking for a fucking fight. Like they were like walking through there just looking for, to cause a problem with somebody. And you could just definitely see that. Like if it was like an older man or something, not saying that I agree with it by any means, but like that's like more under like standable, or at least I could believe that more, like how he would think that way, even though I don't agree with it. But these like kids, it's like, you little fuckers,
Well, yeah, that's a
and
problem.
I think
There's
that's a
just,
rise because there's just like that troll mentality out there in the world. People are just like, fuck it, no, we don't want to agree with you.
There's this underlying, just like soul rot going on that you can trace back to places like 4chan and stuff like that. You've got this troll mindset, these kids who grew up kind of watching South Park, and they grow up to become like these alt-right guys because they see women and people of color encroaching on their very historically white masculine pastimes, that like playing video games and shit like that. Like it's so dumb, the shit
playing video games.
You know about Gamergate?
Dude, I was actually gonna off topic, but I won't bring it back up later. Like, talk to you about how I want to start getting into video games and I need some like guidance. But go on. So that just says no. I don't know much about games at all.
Okay, I will definitely help you with that.
Yeah.
But Gamergate was something that happened about I want to say like 2013 or something like that, 2014, kind of like before all this stuff was happening. And there's a direct line that you can kind of draw between the rise of the alt-right and this Gamergate shit, because it was a bunch of trolls and racists, a lot of them from the 4chan board and stuff like that, who were going out and targeting women in video games, who were making games, stuff like that, because they're like, oh, fucking women don't know how to make games and all this shit. And they would just deride these things, and they're like, well, everything is way too PC. Everybody just wants to tell her that, the games that they're making are great, or that this journalistic, these journalists are unethical and shit like that. And I mean, there's so much to the story, but it was something that has played out again and again since then for different industries. It happened in comics, and now they're all like, they're outright
just about everything in the world that happens, right? Well, like women.
Well, no, but I mean, like this specifically was like a major thing online that kind of went on for like a year. Like it was a very, like, that was the start of what I think is like the modern alt-right,
Oh, really?
And so you have, I mean, it all kind of starts in another place, but that's like the first big like thing that I can point to and say, okay, that is probably where a lot of the ones that we have and see now probably started there. And so I wish I had like a proper synopsis in front of me so I could really, tell it right.
You don't think that it's always been around ever since there were just angry white men that didn't want to be told what to do?
I'm just saying, like, this iteration of it, this very specifically, like when you look out and you see those 2 kids at the Garden Walk with the MAGA hats, like it's, they might have been a part of that, or at least like that idea. Those guys who were all together doing that shit, they started talking, and so they're still around, they're still doing stuff. I'm saying it's that part of it, which is also, like you said, it's an iteration of, generations of this type of shit going on. Yeah. But no, that's so my point originally was that I'm seeing it feels like enthusiasm for Trump is going down a little bit, especially because, I mean, I don't know if you heard yesterday, like the biggest news probably since we started all this shit is that Paul Manafort, his former campaign.
Oh, yes. Okay.
He was indicted on 8 charges. Yes. And Michael Cohen, his former personal lawyer and stuff like that, went in, pled guilty to 8 counts of criminal, it was like bank fraud, election tampering and shit like that. And he named the president in his guilty plea. So the president is now an unindicted co-conspirator who, like officially, legally, on paper, this has not happened yet, and that can't be changed. It was done in a court of law. So this is kind of a big deal. This was like the thing that started Nixon's actual impeachment stuff. I don't know if we'll get that far, because I think
so bizarre,
Republicans are still going to just not uphold their basic constitutional duty. And protect this country. But it's really kind of a crazy time. It's a crazy day. It's a good thing. It's like the first gigantic kind of victory that we've had here, and it looks like something. Oops. It looks like it looks like we're doing okay. We still got to fight, and we still got to undo a lot of the shit that's done. But it looks like today was the first. Yesterday kind of felt like the beginning of the end of his reign, officially,
Right.
to me.
Okay. Well, so that's definitely a good thing.
Reason to celebrate, but all the more reason, of course, to get out and vote too.
Sure, yeah.
Because he's trying to ram a Supreme Court justice through that will say, oh, you can't, who has explicitly said, oh, you cannot indict a sitting president. And he's basically the one he's trying to ram somebody through who would tell him that he can still be president and that this would be okay and that he could pardon himself and shit like that.
Oh, okay. Some straight Lannister shit.
Yeah. They're trying to change the entire system of government so that he can stay out of jail and all these people can be, can walk free from this shit. So that's why it's super important that we all get out there and vote, change the, flip the House. Flipping the Senate is not likely, but it's important to get out there and do that anyway, man.
Yeah, it's crazy seeing it unfold, but then going into the future and looking back on today's time, so many people are just going to be like, what? People actually were about this or supported this guy, and at least it's finally come to a point, if it has, as you said, where people are starting to just lose that momentum. And I don't know.
I think so. I think there's no way anybody can.
It doesn't mean that it's all gone though. There's still there's still a lot of fucking people that he's already put in power that are gonna keep fucking doing some crazy shit.
And there's still so much work. There's so much work to do. And there's so many people that are out there still trying to actively fuck things up. That's why we need to win these midterms so that because we're about to fucking lose democracy, man. They're shutting down 2/3 of polling places in Georgia in all black districts. Basically because they have all demographic information, they kind of have an idea of where things are going to vote. I mean, that's how they do the gerrymandering and stuff.
But that's straight up against the law, right?
No, it's not. In 2013, the Supreme Court rolled back the Voting Rights Act because they said, oh, we don't need it anymore. Racism's over. And everybody's like, what the fuck? No, it's not. And that just got fucking plowed on through by a lot of the same people who are trying to get this justice in here now. And immediately, the second that they rolled that back, they already started instituting all these extremely racist voting laws and stuff like that.
Wow.
So yeah, now the governor of Georgia is trying to shut down voting districts in areas of Georgia where he knows they will not vote for him. And they're just trying to disenfranchise black people from voting because that's what happened in Alabama, Black people came and voted in outrageous numbers against all odds because they were trying to do the same shit to them over there. And they ended up beating, we have a Democratic senator from Alabama for the first time since the fucking Dixiecrats, man, since that whole thing switched over.
So what's the, what would be something that would definitely stop that from happening? Or make that to where, that sort of thing won't happen. What if about online voting? Why don't we vote online?
Because we cannot protect we cannot.
That's true.
Protect those results. I mean, we can't even protect the Russians are in our election systems right now.
Well, that's what I'm saying. What? How can we ever even fucking know what when it comes to the voting thing? It's fucking scary.
Tough. I mean, we're all in this very uncharted territory because we've never had a president and our governing body is owned by a hostile foreign nation. And everybody is acting in bad faith to run these systems. And there's no system in place really for taking these things down. It's okay, what if everything comes down and Robert Mueller comes out and provides irrefutable evidence that the president became the president by, with help from a foreign nation, and he did it with the explicit intent to, fuck this country up. What happens then? Literally nobody knows. We don't. Do you storm the White House and take it over? Then there's a martial law thing? No. Do you wait for the next election? What happens to everything that happened during his term? Is it all invalid? I mean, do you remove those two Supreme Court? Nobody knows. This has never happened before. And so it's a fucking crazy situation. It's something that we're going to have to build back from and put some things in place to prevent it from happening again. But it's fucked up, man. That's why nobody really knows what to do and why the president has gotten away with so much shit, because he's just like, I'm just going to do it. Now apologize, you know? They're like, oh, you have to, like, until there's actually something like a term limit that's ending. And unless Congress is willing to impeach him, which they're not, because he's their whole meal ticket. Like, he's the reason they still have a job, because he has the entire base. And if they were to move to impeach him, they would all get voted out immediately by all those fucking crazy racists. And so it's this weird stalemate, and everybody's kind of held hostage to the president. The president got himself in a very unique position. As long as people are still racist,
it's not funny. I know it's not funny, but it is kind of funny. It's kind of funny because it really is like you're watching a fucking show. You know, like you can't write this shit. Like,
dude,
it's definitely like fucking House of Cards just has no weight anymore. Like, watching that show would be totally uninteresting because of everything that's actually happened.
Is fucking nothing. Like, every story about politics, every major movie,
and think of all the ones
show,
that still we don't even know about too, like that actually go on, like the stuff that they could actually go and make, you know, turn into a story later on.
The biggest scandal in like executive history, in the history of this country, that we call every other scandal around it Watergate. This is like Watergate fucking happened 400 times since he took office. This is so much bigger than Watergate. We don't even have a fucking name for it. And like, every day there's some crazy shit going on. You know? It's like, we've got like his golfing buddies at Mar-a-Lago are running the VA. Like, literally, we've got just rich assholes who are like, hey, can we run the division of the government? And Trump's just like, sure. And they're like the head of Marvel has been shadow running the VA. I don't know if you know that.
The head of Marvel?
The head of Marvel Comics
is what?
Has been running the Veterans Administration, in charge of veterans benefits and like veterans healthcare and shit like that.
And so what is that doing for it? It's making it worse.
Who fucking knows? We don't know. We just found this out. We're like, what? For the last like 9 months, the head of Marvel's been running the VA?
It's funny because it's like when you had, you know, WWE wrestlers, or WWF wrestlers going and becoming like, you know, politicians and shit.
No, now we've got literally Linda McMahon, the head, the WWE something. I don't know
Vince
what she
McMahon's
did.
wife.
Yeah. And she's like the secretary of something now. Like, literally, they're just people that he was on reality shows with. And he's like, okay, you know, get me the guy from TV.
Idiocracy is totally seriously. In full effect.
We have one of the
Where's
biggest...
Camacho at, dude? Get him out here.
Camacho was smarter than Donald Trump. We literally have one of the biggest fucking idiots to even exist in this country is running this country, and the biggest asshole that you could possibly imagine.
Fuck, man.
This is the worst. Like, this
balls
is a scenario
over brains
nobody was
in his
prepared
case,
for.
Though, this guy's like muscling through, dude. Like, think about it. Like, dude, think about how he's just working the system, because look back to Bill Clinton, you know, if you say, well, why was he impeached before them? Well, because he lied under oath, right? But the lie, like, let's think about that lie that he did. It's like, fuck, man, he cheated on his wife. Any guy's gonna go fucking say, oh, no, I didn't do it right away, and then admit to it later. Where Donald Trump's just like, you know, getting by with that one thing, you know, he's not like, or we don't, well, he's lying. I mean, we can't prove that he's lying or whatever, but
yes,
you know,
we can.
I
mean, unequivocally prove that he's lying.
We can definitely.
He is told.
But what I'm saying is that
it's
like that he's just skating by around all these other fucking like little loopholes and shit, and so that's why it's just a crazy difference in time, you know. Like, he should have definitely been in trouble way more than what he is, but it's just a crazy fucking place in time where people are just allowing it to just get past this, you know. Like, he's like Joffreying his way up the fucking top.
There is no precedent. Like, what does a president have to do for you to like arrest him? That's a question that's never had to have been asked before, right? You know?
Yeah.
And when you have a whole other, like, the wing of the government that is meant to check and balance the other wings, when they are also colluding together on the same side. I mean, we literally have the main, like, Congressman, Devin Nunes, who's in charge of the Intelligence Committee, who's in charge of making sure that this country, like, in the House, that this country is safe from foreign invaders and shit like that.
Yeah.
We literally have him on tape saying our number one job is to protect the president. We need to hide this. We need to move this around. Let's not let this get out. We need to let's back off on on this so that we can force the Supreme Court justice through. And then after the election, we're going to impeach the head of, what is it? Rod Rosenstein. He's like the director of national intelligence or something like that. Oh, wait, no. That's fucking another guy. Whatever. Rod Rosenstein, the guy who is Robert Mueller's boss. They're going to, their plan is after the election to impeach him and fire him on whatever charges they can come up with, saying that he's being unfair and biased and stuff like that, so that they can put somebody else in who will fire Robert Mueller and dismiss the investigation. That's literally on tape from the congressman. We played this. And it's like, okay, what do we do? There's no system in place to actually physically stop them. Unless we all go storm the fucking Capitol building. It's crazy. They're just looting the place on the way out. Mm-hmm. And it's really incredible. And so I'm not being hyperbolic when I say this could be the last election if we don't win this shit. And things are looking good, but we need to get the fuck out there because democracy is under attack and will end. I mean, I used to I held off on saying that for such a long time because I'm like, that's hyperbolic, it's not going to go that far. And every day I'm constantly shocked that this is not even a slow moving coup anymore. It's actually happening, man. And so I'm happy that, it seems like justice is finally starting to play itself out. We're seeing people who, like these districts are swinging giantly, and especially at the local level too, things are going. And I'm going to be out canvassing on Saturday for Harley Ruda, so I'm excited about that. Just trying to get active and get more involved than I ever have been before.
Yeah, that's good.
It's too important.
Yeah, I mean, it's most certain that most people just really have absolutely no idea what's going on. And, in all fairness, it sucks because you definitely know how stressful it is and how it's, makes you feel on a day-to-day basis. And it's sad because the sad truth is that most people are just going to avoid it at all costs, which is not, all the more reason why you got to get out there and let it be known,
But that kind of thing has led to, oh God, I can't go to the hospital right now because I don't have insurance and it's going to cost me $70,000 to, get this checked out. Yeah. And then, oh God, they found something and I've got to stay there for 4 days.
We're deep in a hole.
Yeah, it's literally that,
deep in a hole.
And
just
so
trying to get out.
And so support for Medicare for All,
which
is, a single payer system, a universal healthcare system that people are saying that has been, thanks to a lot of the work of Democratic Socialists of America who I'm seeing a giant rise in. So, the Bernie Sanders kind of got this movement all in the forefront. People are thinking about that now. And so I'm seeing DSA or Democratic Socialists of America numbers just rise. They're fucking everywhere now.
Yeah.
And they're spreading the word. It's like, hey, socialism is it's not an evil word. Democratic socialism does not equal socialism. It's something that was used to scaremonger in the 70s. Yeah. It's exactly. Some basic shit,
Yeah.
The army is socialism. Roads that we drive on is socialism.
Already a quasi-socialist country with all of the, fucking the whatever healthcare programs we fucking have or social security, it's right. People really just don't know how to break down exactly what the system is. They automatically relate it to the things that they've been taught to be afraid of, and it's always been this way. Well, it's because those governments that started to do those things obviously had other, it certainly can get bad. But that's where, you need to fucking actually know what you're doing when implementing these laws and have people have checks and balances for them. The problem with those other ones is they didn't have that, and what's going on right now with the president is actually way more in the way of what they think that they're fearing by not wanting healthcare and, and socialism and all that stuff. They just don't see it. It's crazy because there really are just these two different polar opposite lenses, that people are looking through in the world. And it's fucking strange to me because it seems as though most people can really look through only one or the other. And it's I see it all and you're just okay, fuck, dude. It's really weird because people just have a cognitive bias towards things. They
I mean,
want to believe what they want to believe. You know, and they
it's
can't.
hilarious to me that, like, you know, people did not, they're like, oh, no, we cannot vote for Hillary Clinton. Like, she's in the pocket of Wall Street and special interests and stuff like that. And she's super corrupt and very dangerous with their data. And she's going to accidentally, like, lead us to a bad room and spill national secrets. And Trump has done that every day tenfold.
Yeah, it's definitely true that he's done that tenfold. He is absolutely
Actually, like 100-fold. Like, it's fucking crazy, man. It is unprecedented levels of corruption. There's literally never been a time in the
So
US
doesn't that
government.
mean though she might have just been really good and gotten away with it?
No, I think that means she's part of a coordinated smear campaign that I've kind of been reading, you know, more and more about. When she's a fairly average politician. Now, I still do not like her. She would her policies were a little more right of like Obama, which would not have been this, you know.
But I don't
We're
even
here
see
at the
why
end of
we're
it.
talking about her anymore, because she's not
Yeah,
going to come back
it's
around.
done-
And
it's
she
done
kind of
to
like showed that she wasn't really like down for the cause after she lost. You know, like wasn't still getting involved the way Bernie does. Vote for Bernie.
Yeah, that's a very good point. Yeah.
Vote for Bernie.
Well, I think it is. I think the party, you know, capital D Democratic Party knew that, like, oh no, you're politically toxic. Like, can you please go away? Because, you know, people just associate you with bad, you know, and that's true. You know, she was not a good candidate. People didn't like her that much.
Right.
People still don't like her that much. She is synonymous with, you know, this kind of political toxicity. And so they kind of said, hey, can you get the fuck out of here? Like, keep it low for a little while. Like, do not come back for until we, you know, need to roll you out as a prop or some shit like that.
Well,
Which is, you know, it is what it is. We got plenty of people coming up right now, and people that are doing amazing work.
Yeah.
Like, you know, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is fucking like the new Bernie. Like, I'm seeing so many people that are just rallying
she
around
running for
her.
president?
No, she's not running for president, but she basically did. I mean, we've talked about this before, but she was the one who beat out the Democratic leader in Congress.
Mm-hmm.
She beat him out in his own district because he didn't think he had to run because he'd been there for 30 years.
Wow.
You know? And then she hustled. She's 28. She was a waitress. She's just a Latina from, I want to say Brooklyn. Anyways. And, you know, she just went and knocked on doors. She canvassed, man. She just went door to door, every house. Hey, can I count on your vote? This is what I believe in. And she just changed everybody's mind, one mind at a time, with a super, super grassroots campaign with like no money. And she just got a few good people to help her. She's a Democratic Socialist, so she's spreading the same message as Bernie, works with Bernie a lot and stuff like that too. And when she won, it caught everybody by surprise. And now she has basically lit on fires. It was like, oh my God, like, what an incredible story of this girl to, like, literally it's what we're asking for. You know, it's the young progressive agenda going out and kicking out the, you know, corporatist Democrats and these like established people who have really not done a whole lot for us in like the time, like at least at our age, you know, everything that we've seen now, it's like, okay, no, you guys have just been there. Like what have you done good for us lately? You know? Since the ACA, we've just been seeing you lose over and over again. And if your message is entirely, well, we're not Republicans and actively looking to fuck you up, I mean, that's cool, but that's not a good enough message. And yeah, no, I'm excited, man. Like, people are into it again. People are seeing how important it is because we're seeing what can happen if we all just fuck off and don't pay attention. And so I'm getting excited, man.
So
I'm
it's
getting
happening.
excited. I'm feeling
Happening
hopeful.
that the rise, like just like in all those movies and everything, and that we've grown up watching, like, you know, the rise to new hope, to a new direction.
It's not going to be, you know, it's not going to be sexy. It's not going to be, you know, Chris Evans with a shield kind of plowing through and then punching Mike Pence in the face. And then, you know, we install President Beyonce. Like, it's not going to be quite like that. But it's just that, like, hey, it takes effort, and we should all contribute.
It should be
to...
Deadpool, really. Ryan Reynolds should go up there and just, like, you know, do something gross, like stick his dick in his mouth or something.
Yeah, no, he can do that. Yeah. That's canon, and I don't think it's really much grosser than anything that's being done right now. So hey, you know, hats off, more power to you. So anyways, get out and vote. Vote Save America is like a good. It's a site. It's a project that was launched by this other podcast that I like a lot, Pod Save America, And Vote Save America is a good place to get people registered to vote, to register yourself, check on your own registration, because there's this giant thing where people are actively purging voter registration stuff. And, it sucks that there's so much corruption going on that they're trying to, get people to not be registered to vote.
Right.
And they're gerrymandering they're going to try to gerrymander districts even harder in 2020. And so it's like, this is the most important one. Mm-hmm. So we can unseat, if you're in Huntington Beach, we can unseat one of the big assholes who's causing a lot of this. If you're in Irvine, you can do the same. A little bit north, I think like Redondo Beach, you can do the same. So get involved, That's my always ongoing message. But this week I come with some good news, It's like we won a battle. It's not all bad news.
Yeah, most definitely. That's good. We're shifting up, and people are getting involved because they're tired of it. And you have the power to do something while we still can, so do it. If you have the right to do it, do it. Because then if shit happens, you can't say anything because you didn't fucking vote. So get out there and do it.
Well, make a hard left. How was in the park? How'd everything go?
It was fucking great, man. Considering that we didn't really announce it until the week of. As I was super busy through all of July and early August. So we did it, and people showed up. We actually moved it over into a much shadier spot. We kind of figured after doing it there several times that we never really get any sort of shit on where we do it. So we ended up moving it over to the middle area where it's kind of actually seems like it's its own natural little stage area by the gazebos and stuff and the trees and everything. And so we had the most stacked lineup that I think we've ever had there. And I think that's going to be a continuous thing because everybody's just hungry to play, and it's a sign up sheet too. So it's cool, awesome. Yeah. And I actually got to, test out something different because I thought, why am I not putting myself into doing something that I love and usually like to do, which is perform and play music. I haven't done it in a long time. I made an album and everything, but I never really did any shows. And I thought, well, what is stopping me from just getting the guitar out and saying, what the fuck? And going out there and playing some blues tunes for everybody, and just showing my art for the day. Because it's after all, art in the park. It's not, a fucking venue that we're selling out tickets and wristbands for to come see your favorite lineup. Of course you're going to get some from bass, house, whatever. We keep getting like some fucking rad acts in there, but I decided I'm just going to bring my guitar with the cajon and the little kick thing, and I put, instead of a harmonica in the little harmonica holder, I don't even know what that's called, I put my kazoo in there. And so nice. I said, I was fucking around at home one day, and I just started playing slide, and I got really into it. I was like, because I love the blues, but I haven't really been playing. And finally, just actually after over a year of not playing my electric, restrung it a couple months ago, and got a slide and was just going down on some really fucking dope blues tracks, and thought, I want to jam. So I just brought out the shit and had, Kevin jump on some bass. He played some sax. Badger and Kelsey were playing some, the congas, and my sister even played a little bit of bass, and Chase came out and rapped over one of the blues songs. It was super cool. And I kind of want to encourage that from now on too. So if you're in a band, if you're in, you just singer, songwriter, you play your own music. If you're a comedian, or you do any type of performance act, really, like hit me up. We'll put you on. That's fucking sick, man.
We'll like an open mic night kind of thing.
Absolutely.
Dude, why not? That's a great idea, man. I love that shit.
Yeah, it was fun. It was really cool. Consistently getting the right vibes going on with the people that are out there. It's the art too. Mo was doing a couple different paintings simultaneously. He was doing like a lion one, and then he did like kind of a more communal one where he huge canvas, and then he did a background with spray paint and kind of like let people come and use the can and do some different stuff. And other That's people, dope, new faces. So I'm really looking forward to it. I'm actually also going to start reaching out. I'm going to start reaching out for more help from people too that want to get involved. It's all obviously volunteer based because I'm not doing anything for money right now. It's just all totally just the community that builds this up. So if you're already coming, you're liking it, and you hear this and you want to get involved in any which way. I'm totally open to ideas for just about anything. You know, we've got a lot of things that we could do. I got a lot of ideas that I want to do. I'm already actually going to be forming a committee of the artist. I kind of actually already let the sound guys take care of the sound. You know,
I feel like that group chat we've got has kind of been like the impromptu like committee for art in the park, and that now it's not just you throwing it on. It's like, oh no, I see things going.
It's just, and it just happened. You know, nobody's assigned anything. We're just talking about it, and we're all volunteering, and we're making it happen. And then that's kind of what I want to do with the art side of it too. Like get some other artists to help me with like themes and possibly other events outside of art in the park where we could actually, you know, present and display work that we've done at art in the park, or stuff that we decide that we want to collaboratively work on and build, and get to the ultimate goal where I was saying, you know, that same thing that kind of Meow Wolf and so many other collectives have been doing for some time now, and it's just kind of blasting off. It's the new age of art, really. It's the new way that people are going to start to appreciate art. It's not going to just be about having your art hung in a gallery anymore and hoping that it sells. You know, there are other ways to actually make a living and actually have fun in the art world. You know, I think that just as we are seeing in the political world, you know, old ways starting to come to its downfall, you know, things are starting to crash. It's kind of a similar thing, not to, you know, demean or put down the artwork that, you know, the classic art itself. I'm talking about just the outdated ways that people run, you know, the market, and how they just try to establish, you know, a certain hierarchy or ranking of art. You know, I'm trying to promote as much as I can that art is fucking subjective as fuck, and it could be made by anybody. It could be a scribble on a piece of paper. It doesn't matter. But if you're into it, you're into it. Don't let anybody else tell you what it isn't. Now, mind you, I do think it's pretentious as fuck when people just do like little tiny things. I definitely have my opinions on like what's overly priced for like certain things.
I mean, the marketplace of ideas is going to tell them. If you just put a scribble on a piece of paper and everybody's like, yeah, that's
a scribble on a piece of paper.
That's a scribble on a piece of paper. Yeah, you know, but that's, you know, it's still. Hey, if you're calling it art, that's still.
But even more than that, it's not to tell anybody what is or what isn't. It's more or less to tell you, do what you like.
Yeah,
you know, like what you like. And so these other collectives are great because they can employ a lot of people. If successful, if, you know, you have a good plan and you make cool things together and you offer an experience for people where kids can now afford it. They come out and, like, you know, because people of our generation, even people that I know that have, like, you know, some decent amount of money, they're more practical and aren't going to be spending as much money on art, you know, like for especially a couple $1,000s for, you know, certain things. You know, some people will, but I think that if you want to really employ yourself, you can find ways to make I guess it sounds bad, like a quicker buck. You know, like you just like come together, you make something, you have fun with it, and charge $20 for the experience. And, you know, that it's like residually going out to just about anybody who contributes. And I think that those kind of ideas it's more like also in the politics world, like more creating like a socialistic environment, you know, where everybody can kind of benefit from this, because it has come to a point where people are controlling it, and it sucks.
It's our generation kind of bucking the trends in every, you know, possible way, you know, and you see, I mean, fuck, I see it every week. It's like, oh, millennials are killing diamonds. Oh, they're killing giant chain restaurants like Chili's. Oh no, Hooters is going out of business. Fucking millennials. It's like, yeah,
it's a South
all
Park
of those
episode.
places suck. And
wait, Hooters is going out of business?
I don't know if they're going out of business, but they're saying, oh, millennials are killing Hooters. Like, they're not going to Hooters. It's like, yeah,
millennials are taking away my straws.
Why would you pay a bunch of money to have subpar wings and look at girls who are, I mean, usually, like, even if they're, okay, even pretend it's the best Hooters, there's like super hot girls in tights. It's like, that's kind of like just weird. I don't know about you, but like, I don't think that's not a place that I would go. Is a place it's like subtly. So it's like either be a strip club or just be a restaurant. Like, don't be halfway in between. Like, what kind of fucking weirdo just like wants to go and like drink beer and look at tits? It's like, yo, we've got
that is a really fucking weird
internet
thing.
Porn. Like, we've got all these other things where like that is appropriate. Like, why, dude? Like, that doesn't make sense to me, and apparently it doesn't make sense to many people my age because they're kind of going down. And fuck it. Okay.
It's just something that's going to have to die off on its own. Yeah.
It's inherently like a really kind of a weird, fucked up like thing, you know?
Yeah. Like, or my biggest thing, or not biggest thing, but one of the things that I've been laughing at recently is that how much people really love fucking straws. Apparently, like it's like, I get that what they're more or less complaining about is that it's stupid. They feel that it's dumb that people are trying to control them on that. But it's like, why do you like who? Why do we drink with straws anymore? Like, why do we need straws?
Well, I think people are all like, "Oh,
just-
but
I
this
know-
is why. This is the way I do it." It's like, yeah, but the way that you do it is actually going to destroy the planet. Like literally, like you kind of have to take that decision away from some people if you're going to.
Yeah, it's
do
just like
anything.
really.
And
like,
even though straws are
what's
such
worth
a
fighting for? Like that's what I'm trying to say. It's not like straws are
Yeah.
not something. I'm just like, no, we have to defend it. Like get William Wallace and shit on them and fucking
like plastic straws, and let's bring asbestos back while we're at it. Like, yo, like this is progress, people. It's like, yo, you don't need a straw, you fucking child. Like, let's acknowledge that. Okay, generations before us probably had it easier because they consumed all the world's resources, basically, and now it's like, okay, we're realizing, oh, that really fucked shit up, like our whole way of life. So straws. Not kind of a drop in the bucket.
And we
or
live in the spoon generation for
spitting into the
cocaine
ocean.
anyways, so
Yeah, exactly.
kids are hitting. They can't go rack a line in the club and do their
You should
thing.
be using full
They're using
metal,
spoons.
reusable spoons to do your cocaine, kids.
Cocaine,
All
that's don't do cocaine, kids.
Get a there's all sorts of other ways that you can do it.
Kids
like,
shouldn't be listening to this, but don't do cocaine, kids.
Yeah, no,
Don't do it.
Dollar bills are more environmentally friendly.
Yeah,
Just if you take one thing away from this whole conversation,
even though there's a lot more germs on them. I think that's the only argument that they would have
get
towards
some
that.
hand sanitizer, some like UV
I don't
light.
think it works
it'll
like
be okay.
that on there.
Are you really that concerned about you're doing a stranger's cocaine off a fucking thing? Like, I'm sorry, you don't get to complain about germs.
You don't know what that booty sweat from those strippers have gotten all over those $100 bills and those ones.
If you're more concerned about the dollar, like you should probably rethink a lot of the choices that you'd made that led you up to this point. Oh man,
It's not. I mean, they circulate. What can you do? No, that was what was the statistic I heard about? Basically, all the stripper ones that like have cocaine on them, like the percentage of basically like.
oh yeah, I've
the-
heard that too. It's like there's like 1% cocaine on like every dollar bill or something like that. Like from like a certain point. I read it somewhere. It's like
We're just
I
a bunch
half
of
remember
fucking
it.
junkies, America.
America, a bunch of junkies. That's like
That's the book that you
Shit,
should
man.
write for sure. America, a bunch of junkies. God, we're gonna get so much hate for that.
Oh, I'm so glad that we got an episode title before I was done with this thing. Okay, bunch of junkies. Got it.
Well, it looks
Anyways.
like we are pretty much good
We are
now.
running to the end of that. Yes.
Yeah. Anything else that you want to promote or talk about that's happened?
Oh man. Well, I just got back from San Francisco. That was always dope. And yeah, and I'm back out again for a couple of weeks, starting pretty much after this. So yeah, off to Seattle and stuff like that. So unfortunately, it's my fault. We're gonna be taking a little bit of time off. But this is one of the times where we've actually known ahead, like
Yeah.
really been proactive about knowing ahead of time and then not forgetting to mention it on the show. So hopefully it shouldn't catch anybody really off guard.
Yeah. We'll be back, like Arnold says. But anyways, thank you all for tuning in. Subscribe to us as
Yeah.
always. Tell your
Yeah,
friends,
while you're at
all
it,
that
you
stuff.
might as well. You might
Yeah.
as well go ahead, subscribe to us at Let It Bleed Cast on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and we'll let you know. We'll let you know when there's new episodes, kids, when we're coming back.
Yeah.
It'll be in like a couple weeks. Like, don't trip.
Stay tuned for the next Art in the Park. I'll have the information out shortly for that. Yeah, follow me on Instagram at hoodratstuff with 3 Fs. Also Psychedelic Lions Den, psychedelic_lions_den. Phil at Nobody Cares Phil. Or
Nobody Cares
Nobody
Phil
Cares.
on Instagram and Phil Nobody Cares on Twitter. Follow me on Twitter if you really want to keep up to date with all the shit that I'm screaming about nonstop. Also, check out Vote Save America. Make sure you go out, register to vote. That whole thing.
Register.
And if you're in the Huntington Beach area, I'll be canvassing for Harley Ruda. On Facebook, you can check out his page. I think he's got events up there where you can volunteer as well. If you want to get in the community and do something, go knock on doors, go meet people, go get their, get them to vote, get their pledge to vote.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, we hope that you enjoyed the show and took something good away from it. Thanks for tuning in. And as always, let it bleed.